What's up, YouTube? In this video, I'm just going to demonstrate the difference between JavaScript variables. I'm sorry. If you don't know what are the JavaScript variables, those are var, const, and let. Use these keywords to create JavaScript variables. Let's try using var to create one. Let's try const for using or creating a variable again. And let's use let for the third one. And let's try to console.log this tree. It's going to copy and paste. Two. And let's try to run a code. And by the way, guys, I'm using the Google Chrome developer tools, which is kind of like a text editor for me under sources. So I'm just using this one to quickly demonstrate the difference between these variables. So as you can see, nothing's really new. Um, we can go ahead and console.log the value for each variables with their respective keywords. So let's go ahead and check the difference. And by the way, guys, I'm just going to demonstrate var or the differences between var and let for the moment because they're actually very identical. So let's say if we're going to redeclare number again, set it to 15, then console.log number, let's see what we get. You see, we redeclared number to 15 and we use var, so that means it simply mutates the original number or yeah, original variable number. We're going to remove var, that's the same, but with let, change this one to let, it will not let you happen. See, we're getting syntax error saying undefined number has already been declared. And actually the same goes with const. Cannot do that, dude. Or simply just by mutating it this way, that should not work. So those are the powers with the new way of creating variables with const and let. It lets you avoid mutating your variables. So what I recommend is using this ES6 keywords const and let to create variables instead of var because you can really avoid side effects you should say or bugs in your codes. Most especially when you are collaborating with a project. So let's go back and demonstrate a little bit with the difference between let and var. I think you already got the point that const really means constant. So you can never ever change its value by simply calling its variable name, setting it equal to a new value. That's not going to happen if you're declaring your variable with const. And by the way, if you're just to let you know that const and let are block scope, which means they're lexically scoped inside of brackets. Like if you're going to use for loop, which is I'm going to demonstrate right now. With var, actually, you can still access its value inside like a function. So actually, guys, it's much better to demonstrate this one to you by actually coding it. So I'm just going to create a new function right here, and I'm going to name it count numbers, which in the end going to take a parameter which is total numbers that you can set or give to a function, and it will count 1 or 0, whatever, up to the total numbers. So I'm going to say 4, and for this one, we're going to use var to create variables. So let's say is 0, and if x is less than or or equal or less than total numbers, x, we're going to increment the value of x. Then we're just simply going to console.log value of x. So I'm just going to say inside the for loop and the value of x. And let's also console.log outside loop, then the value of x. Then let's go ahead and count numbers to 10. See, let's see what happens. Save it, reload, then run the code. All right. So as you can see here, it's the normal thing that loop does. It simply loops from 0 to 9 because we simply say that x is 0. So right here, you can see that it's logging out the values of x inside the for loop. And as you can see, outside the for loop, we're able to access the value of x in this block right here. So it says 10. That means that we can access the value of x anywhere in this function block right here. So it's not scoped to this function. It's available inside the whole function block. But let's say we're going to change the way we declare our variable x. And let's recreate the variable x by saying let instead of, the famous var keyword for creating variables. Let's go ahead and save, reload, then run the code. And right here, as you can notice, there's nothing strange right here. Just normally logging out the numbers of x inside this for block or for loop block, you could say. And then right here on line 8, it says reference error, x is not defined. That means that if you're going to use or create variables with let or const, in our case, we're using let here since if you're using const, we won't be able to change the value of x here. So you'll get an error at a later point. So it from here, it's saying that man, I don't know what x is because I'm looking inside the function count numbers and I can't find x variable, which simply means that x is living inside this for block, meaning it's not available outside, it's only available inside a for loop. So that's the big difference between let and var keyword. And that's pretty much it, guys. There's actually a lot of examples that I could show you, but I just really wanted to point out the main differences between the three. And I hope you've learned a lot from this example. And actually, that's pretty much it. Var and let are pretty much similar instead of, but I mean, var is available for the global scope. However, if you're using let or cons, they are actually scope or block scope. So that in this example, x is not available inside the whole function block. It's only available in the for block or in the loop block. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, like it, share to your friends, and subscribe to get more videos for every week. And if you have any tutorial requests, you can go ahead and comment in the comment section below. Thank you, guys. Bye for now.